I was injured in Iraq on July 5th, 2005. My unit was stationed in Baquba, Iraq, which is 35 miles northwest of Baghdad. On the way out of town that afternoon, my lieutenant was paying attention to the road and he saw what he thought was a copper wire running across the road. And copper wires are what they use to detonate IEDs with in Iraq. All I remember was I was looking down at the wire and I just heard a loud pop. I didn't really hear an explosion. After the initial shock set in, then I knew what had happened, that we had had an IED detonated on our patrol. After I was injured, I was placed in a medical coma for 8 days. And I think those first 3 months were very unknown to me. I didn't know what the true extent of my injuries were. I didn't know if I could walk again, what it would look like, how I would do it. 6 or 7 months into my recovery, I started to see Achilles, which is now Achilles International out of New York. They come down once a month to Walter Reed and teach hand cycling to newly injured veterans and try to get them to sign up to do marathons. It wasn't until a couple years later that I actually called them up and said I'd like to try the hand cycling, and they let me come out to New York and do their 5-mile ride in Central Park. And after that, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I had a good time competing and hanging out with my fellow wounded veterans. So after a 5-mile race, my first major race was the 2008 New York City Marathon. When I was a kid, I started off playing baseball. I played baseball for a couple years, but I wasn't very good. Couldn't really feel that well, couldn't hit the ball at all. I wanted to quit, but my grandmother told me that we don't quit anything we start. So she actually made me finish the season before I picked up a new sport. I think greatness is the ability to achieve things when all other things seem impossible around you.
Oh, I'm gonna come flying down this bitch.
There's a lot of different races that we do. If we do marathons, there are runners that we have to deal with. Some of the races we do are strictly cycling races. I like to do both. I like to experience a New York City Marathon or a Chicago Marathon because of the crowd and the people. It's just fun to race and something like that. A lot of times when we're on rides, we pass able-bodied cyclists. For me, that's a great feeling because I just want to know what is going on in that guy's head when they think they're going fast and me and my friends go by them using just our arms.
Go ahead, hammer it, dude.
I've known Joe for almost 2 years now. We met back in about January or March of 2010. We met when we were working out one day down at Haynes Point, East Potomac Park in DC. I was there, went there to meet a couple guys on a cold morning just to do some cycling, and Joe happened to be there.
When I first met Mike, I could see that he was very competitive, which is good. You have to have that in a sport. But I also saw that he was lacking a lot of cycling knowledge, and that was me, a couple years before him.
I literally didn't know anything about cycling when I first started. He kind of took me under his wing, introduced me to stuff like tactics when you're in a group, how to turn, how to approach longer races like marathons, how to leave some stuff in the tank.
He didn't take it that I was criticizing him. I was trying to help him because I knew that he had the motivation to be a good cyclist.
It's something that I love so much about the sport we're in, where you have a lot of guys who are in similar situations where they've experienced a tragic incident, but they've overcome it, and now we're all together at events, and we all work hard, we all push each other, and it really is a brotherhood, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Good job, man. Take it back.
I know I have, severe disabilities. I see soldiers who are recovering at Walter Reed that are worse than I am. And to see their strength, and their attitudes, that inspires me. I just want to show people that, especially wounded veterans who are injured, hey, even though things are bad now, they will get better. And I can see somebody like Joe, overcame what happened to them and are living productive lives.